ever look at your finances and think, man, there's got to be more to this? And I don't just mean more money, more purpose, more impact.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you're in the right place because today we're diving deep into Sam Adeyemi's The Parable of Dollars.
Oh, I love this book.
Me too. It's seriously packed with wisdom. So get ready to unlock some serious financial abundance.
Adeyemi gets straight to the point. He talks about how our whole mindset around money, it needs a total reset.
Okay, so let's break that down. He starts with this big idea, God's ownership. What does he mean by that?
Right from the get-go, Adeyemi reminds us that everything we have, our money, even our talents, it all ultimately belongs to God.
Yeah.
We're like stewards entrusted to manage it all wisely.
He even says our time isn't really ours.
Exactly.
Makes you think twice about saying, my time, my rules.
Right.
It's a huge shift to think about our lives, our finances, as having this bigger purpose beyond just ourselves.
Completely.
Yeah.
And that connects to his whole thing about having an abundance mindset. It's about trusting God's limitless resources, instead of getting stuck in that scarcity trap.
So how do we actually cultivate that abundance mindset? Like, it's not just flipping a switch, right?
Right. Adeyemi uses this great analogy from the Bible, the parable of the talents. Remember how each servant was given money based on their abilities, and they had to invest it wisely?
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going with this.
So Adeyemi's saying we all have these unique gifts when it comes to finances. But here's the catch. He also uses that image of pouring new wine into wineskins. You can't pour new wine into those old, stiff wineskins. They'll burst.
That's a pretty vivid picture.
Right. And Adeyemi says it's the same with abundance. God won't give us more than we can handle. So we got to expand our capacity to manage well to be ready to receive more.
It's like you said, it's not just about wanting more money. It's about becoming the kind of person who can be trusted with it. It's about growth, spiritual and practical.
Exactly. You got it. It's about building a bigger container for all those blessings. And you know what I love about Adeyemi? He's not afraid to challenge the usual money advice we hear all the time.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, he takes on that old saying, don't bite off more than you can chew. He says that kind of thinking actually holds us back.
He's all about aiming higher.
100%. He's saying we need to take calculated risks, step outside our comfort zones, and trust God will provide. It's about realizing that with God, those impossible goals, they become possible. We just got to take that first step.
So how do we figure out what those God-sized goals are? The ones we're supposed to take a bite out of, like you were saying.
That's where it gets really cool.
Yeah.
Adeyemi connects financial abundance to something we all want, passion, purpose.
Okay, I like that. But some people might be thinking, hold on, what if my passion isn't exactly known for making money? Like, what about art or writing or even social work?
He gets that. He actually talks about it. He even gives an example from his own life. He says he had zero interest in being a doctor or a musician, even though those are usually seen as successful careers.
Right.
His point is, why force yourself into something that just drains you? Your passion, that thing that lights you up, that's where your true potential is.
So find what gives you energy, what makes you feel alive. That's where to put your focus.
Yeah.
But how do we connect that to actual financial strategies?
Well, Adeyemi, he has this exercise. He wants you to figure out your top 3 personal values.
Okay.
He gives you 12 to choose from. Adventure, independence, security, family, beauty, love, fun, health, happiness, communication, humor, and learning. So which 3 really resonate with you?
I'm drawn to security, family, and learning. How about you? It's kind of amazing how this exercise just clarifies things.
Yeah.
Once you're clear about what really matters, your financial decisions, they can start lining up with those values.
Exactly. It's like Adeyemi saying, don't chase the money. Chase a life that reflects what you believe in and the money will follow. He even quotes George Bernard Shaw, which really challenges the whole playing it safe mentality.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, Shaw said, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable man adapts the world to himself. All progress depends on the unreasonable man.
Wow, that's powerful. So you're saying we should all just become unreasonable?
Not quite. It's more about being willing to challenge the way things are. Not being afraid to be different, to stand out, especially when it comes to going after that God-given purpose.
Don't let those limitations hold you back.
Exactly. Embrace that unreasonableness, because that's often where real change and innovation come from.
I love that. So we've got this inspiring idea, align your money with your passions and values. But let's get practical. What are some real steps we can take to achieve financial abundance?
Adeyemi gives us some solid strategies. One of the big ones is the power of compound interest. He's all about starting early, even if it's with small amounts.
Yeah, it's like that saying, The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Exactly. And Adeyemi has this powerful example to illustrate this. Imagine putting away just $5 a day. That's like skipping your daily lattes. Over 40 years, assuming a 10% return, that small investment could grow to over $1 million.
Wait a minute, $1 million from skipping lattes. That's incredible. It really highlights the power of consistency and time.
Absolutely. And while we know past performance isn't a guarantee, the principle still holds true. Small, consistent investments boosted by compound interest can lead to huge growth over the long term.
It's about shifting that mindset from short-term to long-term thinking when it comes to your financial well-being.
For sure.
But what about people who are maybe past the latte skipping stage? Maybe they're looking for ways to grow their wealth more quickly.
Adeyemi has advice for that too. He's a huge advocate for real estate as a way to build wealth. He emphasizes how it can increase in value, especially during times of inflation. As prices go up, the value of real estate tends to rise too.
So it's like having a safety net against inflation, a way to protect and grow your money, even when everything else seems to be getting more expensive. But real estate can be intimidating, especially for someone who's never invested before.
True, true. But Adeyemi explains it in a way that's easy to grasp. He talks about the importance of research, understanding the market, and getting advice from experienced professionals.
It's not just about buying any property.
Right.
It's about making smart, informed decisions. Treating real estate like a business, not just a get-rich-quick scheme.
Absolutely. You got it. And Adeyemi doesn't just focus on individual investments. He also talks about the power of building systems, particularly when it comes to running a business.
What do you mean building systems? What do you mean building systems?
He's saying you got to create something bigger than just you. A business that doesn't totally depend on you working nonstop.
Okay.
Think about it.
Right.
How often do you see those one-man shows last in the long run?
Not often. It seems like they almost always burn out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Adeyemi actually has this stat. It's kind of shocking. 90% of one-man businesses, they fail within the first 5 years.
Wow.
By year 10, that number jumps to 99%.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's a reality check. If you're building something that lasts, you got to have systems in place.
So instead of doing everything yourself, you create a structure, a system that lets the business thrive even when you're not the one doing every single task. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Right, yeah. It's about empowering other people, delegating and building a team that helps you make a bigger impact. Now, before we wrap up, Adeyemi doesn't shy away from the big G word when it comes to wealth.
Read.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in getting more and more and more and lose sight of what actually matters.
So true. So how do we fight that urge to hoard, that temptation to chase wealth just for ourselves? Adeyemi talks about generosity as the antidote, right?
He does. He really emphasizes things like tithing, giving to those in need, and supporting causes that line up with what you believe in. But here's where it gets interesting. Adeyemi has this whole different take on tithing. It's not what most people think.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Tell me more about this fresh perspective on tithing.
Adeyemi's saying tithing isn't about giving God something he needs. It's about recognizing that he already owns everything. It's about aligning ourselves with his principles of abundance and trusting that he'll provide.
So it's less about the actual money and more about the heart behind it.
Exactly. It's about gratitude, trust, and acknowledging that everything we have comes from God.
It's that shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset again.
You got it. And that shift can impact every area of life, not just our finances.
Wow. This deep dive into the parable of dollars has been amazing. We've covered so much, from practical strategies like compound interest in real estate to those mindset shifts around abundance, purpose, and generosity.
It's a good reminder that financial success isn't just about money. It's about aligning our finances with what we value, using our resources to do good, and trusting God.
If you want to dive deeper, I highly recommend checking out Adeyemi's book, The Parable of Dollars. It's full of wisdom and practical advice to help you unlock true financial abundance. Until next time, keep seeking that harmony between your wealth and your purpose.